Hi there, welcome back to another quick and easy watercolor painting. You can see my water is kind of a little bit dirty here today, but we're not going to let that slow us down. We're going to grab some blue. We're going to introduce that blue into that gray kind of sky there. And again, I want you to touch the page the fewest times possible. So I'm going to take this brush, which is a 3/4 inch watercolor brush, and I'm going to put it into my Payne's gray. And I'm going to add a bit of a tree line in the background here. We're going to have a little break here in the middle, but you can see how wet that is. We're going to have this hill coming, swooping down in this direction, down towards us. Now I'm going to let that continue to dissipate back into the background here, because I want those trees to look like they're a long ways back. But I'm going to pick up some more of this Payne's gray wash, and I'm just going to keep tapping my brush. And what that does is it releases the paint down the bristles onto the page. All right, now I'm going to take this, I'm not going to rinse it out or anything. I'm going to pick up the yellow ochre here, and we're going to do that across there. And don't try to come back here and touch it a whole bunch of times, okay? Just a very few times. We also have a large expanse across the back here of a muddy field, and we're just going to allude to that with some sienna, okay? I'm going to bump up the color a little bit, but you see how I have that space between the two of those. That's where we're going to install some green. Right now I'm going to take this brush, I'm not going to rinse it out. I'm going to put it onto the Payne's gray. And I'm just going to introduce some Payne's gray in large, sort of swooping motions like that, okay? Large, swooping motions. And allow those colors to blend together. Don't try to control it too much. I'm going to take this Payne's gray now, and I'm going to tap it onto the page back here. So we're building up some layering effect of the wooded area in the background. And again, just tap the brush on there. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more Payne's gray for a couple of spots here. Now I'm gonna set this brush down. I'm gonna pick up my #1 watercolor brush that has a sharpened point on it. And we're gonna draw through the Payne's gray up into some of these other layers, because we're trying to add some visual interest here. Maybe make a small tree or two. But draw out of that thick Payne's gray. Okay, so now we're just going to let this dry, but before we let it dry, we're just going to take a pinch of table salt. Now, I put this on by hand so that I can kind of control where it's going. If you want to put it on using a salt shaker, that's perfectly fine too. All right, and then just set that aside. We're going to let this dry. All right, so we're going to introduce a little bit of green here to allude to spring. So that painting is all dry, and we're going to pick up some of the sap green. We're going to put the sap green right across there. We're going to touch it onto where that sienna was, and we're going to get those two lines to blend together so that we don't have any real hard edges across there. And I'm dropping some more green across there. And some of that Payne's gray might bleed into this green, and that's perfectly fine. Get rid of that hard edge across there. I'm going to put a little bit of this sap green just onto that sienna in a couple of places, so that sort of they sort of bleed together. And again, I'm just going to tap the brush onto here and get some of that sap green to come down into there too. All right, it's not too bad at all. And drop a little bit more of this salt across there. Okay, all right, let's let this dry. All right, this one turned out pretty cool. I love what's happened down here because of that salt. And I love this hard line that leads up to this green line. Let's put our little mat on here and see what we get. That's not too bad. Yeah, I love this foreground that's going on across here. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know where you're from. If you could let me know where you're from in the comments section, I'd appreciate it. If you're currently a subscriber, thanks a lot. And if you're not currently a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel.